Hello everyone, it's Karen here from Dark Moon Emporium, and today I'm making a jig that will allow me to personalise several pencils with my F1 laser at the same time. I am a big fan of making jigs to help with precise placement of items to be engraved. And for a while I've been trying to set up a jig that will allow me to personalise pencils, and I think after watching Sam Craft's video I think I've cracked it, and I will put a link to Sam Craft's video in the description box below. So I'm going to begin by opening XTool Creative Space, also known as XCS. I'm going to use a rounded rectangle shape. I'm going to make it 115 millimeters square, and I'm going to center it. So that is the maximum cutting area of my F1. I've measured the pencils that I'm using, and I know that they're 6.9 millimeters wide. So I'm going to bring in a rectangle, and I'm going to make it 6.9 millimeters high and 105 millimeters long. Using the position boxes at the top of the screen, I'm going to place it 10 millimeters along the X direction and 10 millimeters along the Y direction, and that is from the top left hand corner. Next I'm going to go to Array, Grid Array, and this box opens. I'm going to set the number of X columns to 1 and change the Y rows to 9, spacing 4 millimeters, and then OK. Next I'm going to select everything by just dragging over the whole thing, and then click on Combine, and finally Subtract. And just for fun, I'm going to move the outer line to its own layer. So now it's time to make space for the text, and I select a rectangle and make it 6.9 millimeters high and about 64 millimeters long. And I'm going to position it in line with the template, so using the position boxes to set the coordinates to X 35, Y 10. Then I'm going to click Array and then Grid Array and make a grid of 9 rows with 4 millimeter spacing. I'm going to use 3 millimeter plywood, and I'm going to use the settings that are built into XCS for 3 millimeter plywood because I find they work pretty well for me. So the spaces between the pencil on this template are actually quite fine, and the plywood is rigid enough that the template keeps its shape. I did try cutting it out of cardboard. It wasn't terribly successful. I'm also going to cut another 115 millimeter rounded square out of cardboard, and I'm going to glue the two together. I could have used plywood. Cardboard's cheaper, so I'll save my plywood for other projects. And I'm also cut a 108 millimeter rounded square which fits in the space on the F1 when I take the bottom plate out. Finally, I'm going to glue all the bits together with wood glue. I use Gorilla wood glue as a matter of interest. Next I need some text boxes. For now, I'm just going to put in some placeholder text, and I'm going to set the parameters to engrave, make the height 2 millimeters, the typeface Arial, bold, and spacing 1. And once I've checked that the framing is accurate, I am going to save this file. When I'm ready to personalise a batch of pencils, I open the file, and you can see on this file I've saved some reminders about the settings for the file. I've set everything to ignore except the text box. So I'm clicking into it to edit the text. Now once again I'm going to go to Grid, Array, and I'm going to set the number of X columns to 1 and the Y rows are 9 with the spacing at 8.8 millimeters. Now this spacing I have come to as a matter of trial and error. It's pretty much right for me. Sometimes I need to maybe finesse one of the boxes a little bit. You should maybe check with your machine and the pencils that you're using if those numbers are right for you, because your mileage may vary. Now, if I only wanted to do 4 pencils, I'd set the number of Y rows to 4. If I wanted 3, I'd set the number of Y rows to 3. You get the idea. So set up the pencils in the jig with the eraser end to the left and put something under the other ends to balance it. I used the plate that comes out of the middle of the F1. Make sure that it's a nice flat surface on top, not one of the corner bits, and you are ready to burn. One more thing, once you have finished with the project, do not save the file, and the next time you need the template, it'll be ready to go. And here are my finished pencils. Now, it is a little bit of a faff setting up the template in the first place, but once you've taken the time to do that, these are very quick and easy to produce, and they are good pencils. I got them there. They make good presents or little giveaways at craft fairs and so on. So that is it for today, and I hope you find something useful in my video, and if you did, please do come back and see me again soon. But meanwhile, thank you very much for visiting, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.